Hi everyone, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, big welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. I am in a different location than the last couple of videos, and this is my new dyeing area. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse into where I will be dyeing yarn moving forward, which is really exciting because now I really have a very designated studio space for it, and I'm really excited. So it's going to be a quick tour, but I'm going to try to do this in a really funky way. Sorry, I just had something pop up on my computer. My computer's crazy. Okay. Never a dull moment. So I'm just going to do a quick video here. My computer had kind of shut down, so I have it plugged in. I think the battery's basically dead. So we're going to try to do this with it plugged in, and hopefully it won't be super screwy. So first thing I want to note, I'm going to be doing a custom dye job here, which is awesome. I'm so excited. It's my first dye order here at the new location, so I'm really excited about it. I have a bunch of yarn. I'm going to try not to blast you guys out with the light above, but it might happen. So I've got a bunch of yarn in here, and like I said, I'm kind of a small scale dyer here, so I just order yarn as needed, and yeah, really excited. So this space is actually in our lower level, so it's kind of like my dye dungeon. So it's like definitely in the basement. However, it is not a dungeon, not a true basement feel, because without showing you the insanity of a mess that is our lower level right now, I will show you that around. On my way in, there's actually windows, so I do get natural light, which is awesome. I'm literally maneuvering a laptop, so sorry guys, you're gonna be like shaky and it's gonna be weird, but it's fine. So this is the kitchen area that I'll be dyeing in, and so now I can actually double up my capacity for dyeing. I have my two hot plates over this way. I'm just gonna turn you. So I have my two hot plates that I had prior, and I usually use a really large. This is probably gonna make so much noise. I'm just gonna leave them down there. I usually use large pans to dye. I have them tucked underneath the cabinet here, so I can keep things pretty organized when I am not dyeing, which is awesome. Because otherwise, I need the organization. So I've got my two hot plates here, and then I now have burners here that I could use as well. So I could actually like double the amount that I dye, which is huge, huge. So awesome. So you'll see over here, there's I have some rings here. This is what I usually use to put through the wool that I'm going to be dyeing. I'm actually debating doing tied ribbons instead, because I just think those will stay on a little bit better. Those, as wonderful as they are and as inexpensive as they are and as reusable as they are, they tend to pop off, come detached, which means that it could slip, and it just makes the dyeing process that much less efficient, a little more of a labor intensive thing. So I'm probably going to change that process out a little bit. But I'm going to show you guys what's in the cabinet here. So I have some, like I said, these are kind of pre-mixed stock. I tend to mix in here before I pour it into dye it. And then I have all of my dyes up here. So all of the dyes are up here, and then I have their little, they're like itty bitty little cups that I actually use to weigh out the grams of dye before I use it to dye with. So very scientific. And more cups for mixing, and up here I have random dye that everybody always has if you're going to be like tie-dye, but I just decided to bring that in. But this is all like concentrates that I've made of colors. So these are solid out of the jar colors that I will then mix and blend to make other colors. So if you guys want to kind of know my process, this is kind of a real jumbled way of showing you, but usually I mix up the dyes,
It depends. If I'm doing one-off colors, I sometimes will mix those dyes and do the whole dyeing and speckling and all of that without recording anything. But if I am actually like measuring out, like for my colorways, for example, Scarlet, which is one of the colorways that I definitely will repeat dye. That is like one of my classic colorways. That I mix up the colors that I'm going to use for it, and then I start layering during the dyeing process. So it's really fun to do. But I do like pre-mix those colors. There's a lot of work that goes into dyeing. So this is primarily like where my dye is going to be kept at the moment. This is a work in progress because I haven't dyed from it yet, so I don't know if I'm going to want to move things around. Some paper towels up here and paper towels right here. Always want paper towels handy for cleanup because dye gets everywhere. Very easy for that to happen. I have all of my wool washes and rinses and everything. My pre-wash for the wool, I have it all over here next to the sink. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of that. Sorry, you guys are going to get really weird angles here. But so as you can see, we've got the sink here. I have a dual basin sink. And then I also have like this little spray bottle here. And you can kind of see some of my shipping supplies over here. I'm trying to keep everything kind of in one area so it's efficient as possible. And then, of course, every dyer should have one of these. I just have one of these respirators. Whenever I work with the actual raw pigment, be it mixing it up to make a solution or adding it as speckling, I'm always wearing this mask so that I'm not breathing in those itty bitty particles. You do not want to be doing that. So, got that. I also, I'm gonna move you again. Hope I'm not making anyone sick. Oh yeah, you can see the mess now. There's the mess. That's our basement. Oh. I've got my skein winder over here, and there's my spinning wheel. But yeah, skein winder that my husband built, which is super awesome and makes doing the skeins so much easier, so much kinder on my wrists. I love it. I've got my, like I said, I weigh out my dye before I mix it. So got my little scale there. I think anything else. I've got like, of course, all kinds of measuring spoons, which I haven't really utilized these too often, except for this one I use constantly when I am measuring out my acid to mix with for dyeing. I also use these a ton, tongs for flipping the wool. As a reminder, everything that I am using is specifically for dyeing the wool. I don't cook with these. These are not items that I use in our kitchen. I also use this quite a bit when I'm mixing the dye. And yeah, all like various little tools and gadgets that you would use for dyeing. Of course, if you're doing speckling, you gotta have something like this. So I've got that, and anything else that is like, oh, of course, gloves. I wear those constantly, but if you are ever gonna mess with dyeing yarn for yourself, I do want to warn you, this is just not gonna be enough protection for your hands. This is good for keeping the dye off of your hands, but if you're gonna be reaching in and pulling out that yarn, you're gonna want to wear something like this that is actually heat protecting gloves. I wear these over my nitrile gloves because yeah, that wool can get really hot, so you need to be careful. And then I've got all kinds of graduated cylinders and pH strips. It's like everything you could possibly need to dye. So I think that is everything. I do have a refrigerator, so I can have little beverages down here to keep myself hydrated. Speaking of which, I actually have some over there. I always make a point to keep my drinks also very far from where I'm dyeing. You do not want to contaminate your beverages with the dye that you are dyeing with. That is no good. The acid technically is completely edible. Not that I'm going to eat with it, but it would be fine. It's just the dyes. You don't want that to get into your drinks. So
you are, again, taking on dyeing, keep your beverages. It's like my chemistry class all over again. It's like keep food out of the chemistry lab. Well, I need to have it semi nearby so that I can get hydrated. But yeah, this is my new space. Really excited. And I hope you guys like my little mini tour. I also have, yeah, I've got like my buckets I work with over here and buckets all over. I constantly use buckets for transferring wool from the dye bath into the rinsing. Oh, and then, oh my gosh, I can't believe I totally forgot to show you guys because this is super cool. I got this, I think, a year ago, and again, totally speeds up the drying process. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but it's amazing. So, over this way, there we go. That is my spin dryer. It is amazing. It's amazing. So when I dye up a large batch, I put it all in there and I just get a bunch of the water out. So it's so wonderful. It was a little bit of an investment piece, but you can use it with your clothes too if you need to, but I specifically use mine for my dyeing. And then also if I am washing any of my woolens that I've hand knit, I actually will put them into the spin dryer and yeah, there's no heat. It's just spinning. So it's literally just pulling water out of it and it works amazing. It's so great. So when I'm blocking items or just hand washing them, it makes them dry so much faster, especially if it has really rustic wool that's good, or even I should say not rustic wool, superwash. If it's superwash wool that's gonna like absorb a lot of water, that is so amazing. Speaking of which, I have a drying rack set up over here too because I'm gonna have to set up my wool to dry when I'm finished dyeing it. And I am so excited, you guys. I haven't dyed in, oh my gosh, it's probably been months. Has it been months? Let's see, I'm trying to think. Okay, what month are we at? September, August, July. Oh my gosh, it's been months. Oh, I'm so excited. Can you tell? So I'm going to get that batch dyeing because I'm super excited. I want to make sure I get this to this individual because I know she's so excited to start knitting with it. So yeah. So I hope you guys are doing well and I look forward to catching up with you soon. This is kind of the only video I'll be posting this week, not doing a traditional weekly podcast. I'm actually going to be out of town. So, well, I think I've told you guys this before, but we like planned all of our trips the month that we moved. Not on purpose. This was totally like a year in advance. And then we ended up moving and, well, here we are. So, oh my gosh. Crazy, crazy. So, yeah, so I will be actually up north in Michigan this weekend. And hopefully I'll get some knitting in, some reading. Hopefully I'll get to relax. This trip should be hopefully more relaxing, which will be great. I very much need it. I need to relax. But dying. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye, guys.